All right, so here's a little bit of a walkthrough of what the human athlete vital program is going to be like. So generally, we're going to have 2 days upper, 2 days lower, and just so basically, like the upper is going to be. We'll generally start off with some spine stuff, so you can see we're doing a spine overcoming iso to kind of get that fired up and going. Then we're going to do barbell bench press rebound reps, and also with inverted hang. So think like you're hanging flat and then like switching up and down on the bar type of thing. So kind of like a press pull type idea there. And then we've got slow lower work for both the elbow as well as the shoulder. And then we've got some more spine stuff with reverse C stuff to finish. So that's kind of like a little bit of a general outline of what that day looked like. And we can see on the second upper body day here, it follows a little bit of a similar outline. Hyper arm, I think this was either shoulder or elbow work. And then we have, this is a push-up, band accelerated push-up. Hyper arm, again, I think this was the same thing that we were doing here. So we kind of like repeat that there, along with some overhead forward and overhead backward impulses. So I think this was generally like some depth drops along with some impulse work after doing some hyper arm, which would be like impulse work to start. And then after that, actually, I think this was a hyper two-way overhead, and then I gave options for if you don't have a hyper, you can do it without the hyper. Then we go with like press, so incline in this specific case, slow lower after that, slow lower, and then fingers. So it's kind of like, generally we got like spine, we got press pull, either like up, down, and then we go shoulders, elbows, wrists, kind of like the lower stuff we take care of, and then sometimes we close out with something that like puts that all back together. It's going to be different every week. Like if we go down here to the second week, we have push-up depth drops with some overhead heavy pressing with some pullovers. Then we got some rapid rows essentially with like a light bar. We got some spine work. Then we've got, again, either or hyper or impulse work for shoulders and elbows. Then we got some crawls at the end to put it all back together. And this day we have like a 10 to 15 minute running clock of something that's open for you to just kind of explore and get warmed up. We have presses, we have pulls, we have kind of get everything lengthened out, and then we've got slow lower and depth drops to finish there. So again, similar setup, just different exercises. But it is nice because we do hit different exercises every week. It's just that, but it is in the same structure, so we'll be hitting similar type of exercises. So it's not like we're just chaotically going through things. There's an actual layout. Once maybe every like 5, 6, 8 weeks, like we'll kind of completely switch it up, and we'll go back just so that things don't over stagnate. So that's the upper body days. Lower body days, we're going to do some type of running and jumping. So this is a running jump. So this would technically be our, I think our jumping stuff here. And then here we also have a jump day. So this week we did 2 different jump days, a little bit of running or sprinting included here. We go heavy rebound rep lunges or squats. Over here we go deadlifts. Think of like a glute ham pulling up against the band, like as an overcoming iso. And then this was, I believe, a quad hyper arm move or impulse move. Then we've got some Nordics over here, along with some rapid foot taps. We got some hip work here, and then lower leg finisher, and then also a slow lower to finish here. So that's kind of general layout of the lower body days is like sprinter jump, and then we go kind of like heavy movement, whatever that is. Then we go like hips, knees, ankles. We take care of those. And again, we can see in the second week here, we got sprints to start, some front squats, some slow lowers, some hammy juice, some knee stuff, and then hip, lower leg. And here we have depth drops, so that would kind of be like our jump. Then we have an option between hyper or glute ham work for our post chain. And then we have, this would be for the hips, and this would be a slow lower to finish. So again, you can see the general layout of that. Middle day is going to be a little bit more open, where here we basically did, like this particular week, it won't be like this every week, but this first one is bear crawl game. So that's going to be on like a 30-minute running clock, a 20-minute running clock, something like that, where you have a bunch of different options of what you can do for just like bear crawls. And we're essentially, it's like a condition day, get really good at, crawling, being on the ground for this particular day. And then we finish after that with some breath work, right? So it's a little more open-ended here on that particular day. This one was, we did all the upper body joint moves after Box Hurdle Explorer. So the Box Hurdle Explorer is essentially, again, here it says to the timer for 20, 30 minutes, and then we go ham on these. So we have specific intents that we're looking to do there, and then we take care of the upper body and get that feeling good after that. So that's a little bit of a look at what that middle day is. And even here, this one is straight up spine, 6-way neck hold, 6-way spine hold. Each of those for one set of 60, 90 seconds. So fairly short day there. And then if we go to the last week as an example here, we have this is essentially more like an upper body pumps day. So now we have like wrist work, bicep curls, tricep extensions, shoulder work, flies, pullovers, reverse pullovers. So there's pretty good variety that we'll have in that middle day for the human athlete, with more structure being around those other days as we laid out.